Many of us have been personally touched by natural disasters that happen at our homeland, but are we really prepared for a natural disaster here at home? We discuss how AmeriCorps and Catholic Charities are helping our community to be better prepared. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose to get lost in the woods, to gain experience in forest management.
Choose to travel through time, to understand the past.
Choose to soar, to pursue a career in dance.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger, Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world, and South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Welcome to Latino Motion. Many of us can relate to national disasters that impact our loved ones at our native homeland. But are you truly prepared for a natural disaster right here at home? I'm happy to have Dr. Daisy Rodriguez with AmeriCorps, Vista, and their Community Resilience Community Project. Dr. Rodriguez, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you, Bert, for having me here today and giving me this opportunity to talk about my community project.
And let's talk about it, because you're with AmeriCorps Vista program, but you're doing that out of Catholic Charities. Tell me the connection.
Yes, I'm an AmeriCorps Vista working with the Disaster Resilience Program, but serving at Catholic Charities Diocese of Camden in Atlantic City. So Catholic Charities is my sponsor, is the sponsor of this program.
And of course, Catholic Charities is involved with a lot of community support, particularly here in Atlantic County. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, Catholic Charities is a nonprofit organization serving the people in need, especially those families and individuals with low income.
Well, let's talk about the project and what it is. So it is a Latino Resilience Community Project. What does that really mean?
Okay, so this project, the mission is to help building capacity in Atlantic City, helping organizations to provide education for a population who doesn't speak English fluently.
So I know that we've had disasters in Mexico, we've had disasters in Puerto Rico that yes. Puerto Rico's still recovering, and a lot of us with family there see the big impact that has had and the lack of preparation perhaps that both the government as well as individuals has had. So what do you think is going to make a difference here at home?
Well, Atlantic City as well as Puerto Rico and other Central America countries and islands, it's susceptible for natural disasters. So it's very important to prepare. We had like Sandy hurricane, right. And we have like a recovery process in Atlantic City, but we never had a special attention to prepare. So this is like preparedness program. It's help people understand they need to know what they need to know before they got the risk to a natural disaster.
And in your vision, you indicate that you want to move from a culture of reaction to a culture of prevention.
Exactly, yeah. We envision a community who has access to information, and especially this population, because we know there is a lot of information in English available, but not in Spanish. So these Latinos, especially those ones we serve in Catholic charities, they have this barrier, the language barrier. So we want to provide them like translations, pamphlets, seminars in Spanish too. It's a bilingual program.
So we want to talk a little more about that and some of the work you're doing locally here in Atlanta County. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. We continue our discussion on disaster preparedness with Dr. Daisy Rodriguez with AmeriCorps, Vista, and Catholic Charities. And Dr. Rodriguez, you mentioned the important work of the Latino Resilience Community Project. And this has some special meaning for you as well. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm a Latino myself. I'm from Brazil. So from my own experience, I know how hard it is to live in another country and have this language barrier. So be able to helping these people, it's very special for me. But also work with the subject of natural disaster, it's passionate because we are helping to save lives.
Important work, certainly. Yeah. But you do have some challenges to overcome, and you mentioned language being one of them. Yeah. What are some of the other challenges?
We are here doing this exactly because we have the population, the community who need our help, who cannot read and have access to this information for one side, and the other side we have the organizations which want to provide this information for this community, but they lack of bilingual staff who speak more than English, more than one language, and one of the important languages is Spanish.
So in essence, you're looking to provide the bridge between the organizations like the Red Cross and the community to make sure that they're providing those services in bilingual fashion, that it benefits the community.
Absolutely. We are here as Latinos Resilientes to provide the organizations the capacity to be able to outreach this community. So we are going to translate pamphlets, folders. We're going to participating in the community events. We're going to the libraries, churches, ESL classes to outreach them, talking to the teachers and the other organizations who are specifically working with natural disaster preparedness.
So obviously you're doing a lot of this outreach, and if there's an organization that wants to be part of this, that wants to get your help in terms of reaching the Latino community, are you the correct agency for them to reach out to?
Yes, definitely.
All right, so we'll put up the contact information, and you have quite a number of other ways that people could get in touch. You also have a Facebook page as well.
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. The Latinos can like the Facebook page and get access to this informations available there in Spanish. One
of the things that obviously you're keen on is also getting more people involved. So you're looking for volunteers, particularly bilinguals, to participate as well.
Yes, it's right now we are looking for bilingual volunteers who wants to be facilitators, help us to building a curriculum to educating the population.
Well, we want to get it a little more in depth in terms of your needs for volunteers. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. We continue our discussion with Dr. Daisy Rodriguez with AmeriCorps, Vista, and Catholic Charities. And Dr. Rodriguez, we talked in depth about the great work of their organization, the project to educate the Latino community on emergency preparedness. But you need money, you need volunteers. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's like a social community project. It's sponsored by nonprofit. We're working with donations and volunteers. So I will be very open to have people interested to participating on the project, especially people who are bilingual, and also we are accepting like donations too, in-kind donations relating to natural disaster preparedness.
I know you did have a event, sort of a fundraising event. It was a baby supply party, so you were asking for donations.
Yeah, Catholic Charities got a donation from St. Joseph Parish in Summers Point, and they donated us baby supplies. And I thought, what can I do with those baby supplies to achieve my mission, to inform the population? So I did some research and I figured out I have all the items for emergency kit for moms. So we organized this baby supply party.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, we invited the Latino mothers with kids under 1 year old or pregnant moms to learn about natural disaster, what to do in a case of emergency, and what did they need in a case of emergency to save their babies.
So that's one example of community involvement in terms of getting donations. What do you need volunteers for? What would be some of their assignments?
Yeah, volunteers will be very welcome to be facilitators, to educating the Latinos in natural disaster preparedness, also do presentations for our events, yeah.
And I know that you're looking for outlets. So in other words, if someone has a church meeting, a community event or something like that, where you do have the Latino community present, you like to educate, this is a great message. It's preparedness message that you want to get out there. So you're looking for all those avenues to get that message out.
Perfect. Yes, you got it. We open to go to participating in any community event to talk about this.
Now, I know that you have some other educational events coming up, and we do have a preparedness for hurricane. We're entering into the hurricane season. We want to take a quick break and we want to talk about that. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. We'll continue our discussion on emergency preparedness with Dr. Daisy Rodriguez with AmeriCorps Vista and Catholic Charities. And Dr. Rodriguez, we were talking about one of the very first, very successful events you had, which was the baby supply party. You helped 22 families form those emergency packages for moms. And you have another event coming up, and that's for preparedness for hurricanes. Tell me about that event.
Yes, like the baby supply party, we have the help of Catholic Charities and St. Joseph Parish in Summers Point. This event will be organized, the hurricane event will be organized by La Casa Dominicana of New Jersey. We are in the beginning of hurricane season, so it's very important we address this issue right now. The event going to happen in the cafeteria of Our Lady Star of the Sea, the church, and Latinos Resilientes will be there providing support for the community to get the information about what to do before, during, and after a hurricane.
And I know we all had the experience of Sandy, so it's very well in the minds of many folks, and hopefully with this kind of assistance and information, we could be a lot better prepared for the next event.
Yeah, our goal is to avoid and to make lower the risks of natural disasters. Right. We're going to have those natural disasters. They're going to happen. We're going to have the nature come after us, but we need to be prepared, and we can avoid so many problems, economic problems, social problems, if we be prepared for that.
I know one of the things that happened prior to Sandy, there were other events, and there were kind of false alarms, if you will, and people kind of become deaf to the warning about that there's an emergency coming. And even with Sandy, folks didn't believe it. Some folks didn't evacuate when they should have evacuated. So it's certainly getting this message out is very critical. Let's talk more about the organizations that you're partnering with. You mentioned the Casa Dominicana. What are some of the other organizations?
Yeah, the advisory group, it's open to partners. So I'm glad to invite, any organization who wants to help us. We're not just going to provide this information for the population, but we're also here to help the organization to understand how to approach this population, because it's not just a matter of translation, it's not just a matter of language, it's also a culture issue. So we are trying to understand where these people, where are they from, how do they live, the challenges that they are facing, to be able to communicating with them.
That's very important, especially in organizations that may not have that focus of working with the Latino community, that you could help bridge that gap for them. Very critical. Let's continue to talk a little bit more about some of the other work you're doing with national disaster preparedness. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. We're once again with Dr. Daisy Rodriguez on the important message of emergency preparedness and disaster preparedness. And Daisy, we were talking about all the great work that the organization is trying to do to reach the Latino community. You have an important message in terms of emergency preparedness. Let's talk specifically about some of the things that we need to keep in mind.
Yeah, we need to teach them. They need to learning about specifically things to be prepared for a natural disaster, as making an emergency plan is very important, making an emergency kit, about learning about warning system, maybe download in the app in your phone about a flood or alerts of emergencies.
Let's just go back for a moment and talk about that emergency family plan. And maybe it really implies getting the whole family involved. So someone's not just preparing, but you're really working as a family unit to prepare that plan.
Yeah, it's important everyone in the family have different tasks in a case of emergency, because one person cannot handle everything, So, for example, as a mother, I can be responsible for the documents, getting the documents and the meds. The father could be responsible to get the baby and verify if all the kids are together. The kids could also help getting the food supplies. So it's very important everyone know about this plan and know exactly what they need to do in a case of emergency to help their family. So
you mentioned the warning systems, and what's next?
We can also teach them about evacuation routes, places that the exits of the cities that they can evacuate it, and also let them know that it's important they know that in advance and also go through these routes, not just waiting to emergence to travel to those roads. Also about individual and family and pet evacuation shelter, unique family needs plan, because sometimes you have seniors, you have people with special needs in your house. So you need a special plan for these people, and small things, and even the most important thing, have a first aid kit.
Yeah, let's talk about particularly having the special needs, because I know that when Sandy hit, one of the things when there was the evacuation, perhaps some people didn't take all the medication, or as much as the medication as they needed for the week or so that they had to stay away. So that's very important that you plan all that and make sure you have all, and be prepared. Mm-hmm. To get this type of information and get this in-depth, is there a website that provides this information?
Different websites provide this information in English, but if they like our page, Latino Resilientes in Facebook, I will provide this information in Spanish for this community, and they will be able to have access to videos and educational materials, and also get the information about our upcoming events, where we're going to talk about that, when we're going to talking about that.
Hopefully now that we've had the experience with Sandy, it's still fresh in our minds. People are not going to forget that these disasters do happen, particularly when we're living here in the towards the coast, where you could have a major impact with hurricanes and others. It's very important that families be prepared.
Yes.
Well, this is important information, obviously, that you're helping our community to be better prepared. Thank you so much for sharing this information with our audience. And thank you for joining us at home once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose to get your feet wet, to learn more about protecting our environment.
Choose to read minds, to understand the human brain.
Choose to get your hands dirty, to create a masterpiece.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger; Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world; and South Jersey Gas.